Hey, everybody, it's Perch. All right, let's read this. This is Godzilla. All right. Hey, Perch. First off, I've been watching you since I got back into comics around 2021, and your content has been perfect for drives and or hanging playing games. What? Thank you. I'll take it as a compliment, but I don't quite understand. I mean, hanging out playing games. I'm going to go with that. Fair enough. Because of you, I even made some comic reviews I took down. What's a shame. I just wasn't good at it. I prefer to enjoy comics. If you don't enjoy it, cool. But if you don't think you were good at it, you should do it anyway. The way you're going to get better, well, we'll get to that in a minute. Yeah, actually, fuck it. We're going to get to that now. I'm going to give you a piece of advice. And, the listeners to this show are all ages, all, walks of life, all different careers, professions, etc. And I want to give you a piece of advice that will sound silly. It will sound like a kind of a motivational speech, and it's going to be really hard to follow over time. But I would like you to try and, I realize I'm definitely sick or something's fucked up because this has been going on for like a week now, and my voice is just getting shittier and shittier. So I apologize for the way I sound because, let me be vulnerable here for a minute. I always thought I was going to be a teacher. I don't know why. There's reasons behind this, and probably reveal too much of my personal life, and some jackass would try and ruin my life if I revealed too much. But I believed I was going to be a teacher. I never tried. I never started to be a teacher, but I wanted to be one because I always felt like one of the most noble things you should be in your life, or could be in your life, was to help other people be, everything they could be. And I know there's an analogy of like those who can't do teach, but for the really great teachers, not the average ones, not the poor ones, for the really great ones, those people are unlocking people's ability to do incredible things. And I always feel this way about advice. At different times of our life, we might hear a speech or we might read a book or, a variety of things happen. And what's going on in our life at the time causes us to ignore the advice we're given. But it's still good advice. And so I'm going to give you some advice right now. And I hope you take it to heart. The only way to get perfect at something is to keep doing it. There is nobody, and this is definitive, there's nobody on the planet that comes out the gate and knocks out of the park on the first try. In comic books, go look at Jim Lee's earliest art, or even earlier, not necessarily earliest. He did a Mockingbird backup in Solo Avengers, and it's not great. You see little bits of Jim Lee in there, but it still looks very amateur. You look at Todd McFarlane. You look at George Perez. Even, I know this is heresy, look at Jack Kirby, very early Jack Kirby. It's still very rudimentary. And what you see is that a lot of people will put out art and they will have people critique it. They'll have people insult it. Or they'll do something casually and they'll have people shit on it. I'll tell you something. I was asked by somebody to do a drawing of the Promised Neverland if they were adults. And I didn't really want to do this. I don't feel like I'm a good manga artist. I'm not. I'm not a good artist in general. I don't call myself an artist. I like to draw. And for a long time, when I would draw and not perfect it, when I would not be at the level of a George Perez or an Art Adams or a Jim Lee or a John Byrne, I would be depressed. I would say, I should just quit. But I enjoyed drawing. So I kept drawing, knowing I was shitty. And so I drew this picture. Somebody wanted me to draw this picture of the Promised Neverland characters as they were grown up. And I posted it to Twitter. And I knew it was not a good drawing. It was done while I was watching, I don't know, The Witcher or something on Netflix. I don't know. I'm not making excuses for my lack of talent. I'm just saying I wasn't paying close attention to it. I drew it about, I don't know, the length of a Witcher episode. It was like 45 minutes. And I posted it. And some people said, wow, you're a good artist. And other people said, wow, this sucks. And then a couple people, including, by the way, your boy Zach, did an entire video about how my drawing made him depressed because it was shitty. And now I'm paraphrasing to say he didn't mean malice by it. But there was a moment where this feedback is coming in that my art isn't perfect. And I have a choice. And it's not two choices, it's actually three choices. And this is my advice to all of you. Choice number one is I could be depressed and demoralized by that feedback. And I could just say, you know what? I'm going to stop drawing. A lot of people do that. And that's a mistake. Unless you have no passion for it. Unless you don't really care. If you're trying to do it to get rich, then yeah, you should quit. Just stop. That's not the reason to do it. If you're bad at art and you want to be the number one artist, but you're bad at it, you have no skill at it, you should quit. Honestly, you're wasting your time trying. The other answer is to say, no, I'm not going to listen to the critics. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And that's a better answer. It's better for your ego. But it's not the best answer. Because that just keeps you doing what you're doing. The best answer is to look at that and go, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. I'm going to keep drawing because I love it, because I enjoy it. But I'm going to try and get better. I'm going to try and spend more time. When I did that picture, I thought to myself, I'm not an artist. So people saying Perch isn't an artist, yeah, no shit. You're telling me something I already know. I'm not going to be Sean Gordon Murphy doing this shit. I know that. And, you know, Sean, for what it's worth, has seen many of my drawings. At the beginning, Sean was like, yeah, you know, you're all right. And I told Sean at one point, I'm like, don't tell me I'm all right. This stuff sucks. It's okay to be brutal. I can take it because I'm going to keep drawing. I'm going to keep doing stuff because I want to get better. So for your comic reviews, you know, if you don't enjoy doing comic reviews, by all means, stop. Stupid for you to keep going. But if you enjoy it, keep doing it. But don't ignore all the critique. You got to figure out a mechanism to protect yourself from things that sound hurtful and still keep going. Because the only way you're going to get better is by keeping going. Todd McFarlane's early art was really rudimentary and shitty. Jim Lee's was shitty. George Perez was shitty. Neil Adams was shitty. Everyone was shitty. I love Art Adams. I possess in my personal collection at home what I think, I'm not positive, but what I believe, pardon me, I'm coughing like hell here. What I believe, I'm not a smoker, by the way. People ask me that. No, I'm just coughing because I apparently got a cold or I'm dying or something. I believe I possess more Art Adams art than anybody else, original art. I think I do. I'm not positive, but you know, it'll be a race. I'll put it that way. Everyone, including Art Adams, who I deeply love, Walt Simonson, others, they got better over time. If you believe you're perfect and never take any critique, you won't get better. If you give up, you won't get better. You've got to find a balance of keep going and get better. Anyway, sorry, that's not what this mail was about. But I think this is important because I'll die someday, maybe soon if this cold's any indication. And I want to give you that advice. It isn't meant to be a happy, you can do anything if you set your mind to it. Guess what? You can't. You can't do anything if you set your mind to it. I'm never going to be operating on brains. One of my dear friends, a friend of a friend, one of my dear friend's friends I mean, there's a guy I know who's like one of the best people I've ever known in my life. He has come through for me always. There's a guy who sometimes listens to my videos, Warren, who will post sometimes. He was friends with this guy. This guy is easily one of the best people on the planet. He is self-sacrificing. He's done everything. Anyway, one of his friends was a brain surgeon. And this guy was super talented, really bright, just gifted as a surgeon. And he died, and it was tragic for a bunch of us. For those of us who were close friends, I mean, shit, we were devastated for my friend for years. He hit it well, but it ruined him in a lot of ways. Miss that guy. I'm never going to be a brain surgeon. For me to claim that, I love it, so therefore I'm going to be good at it is absurd. You're not meant to do everything, but you are meant to find your passion, and you are meant to keep going at it, and you are meant to listen to critique and get better. That's how you improve yourself. Anyway, back to your mail. I'm sorry for this long segue, but look, please take that advice. This channel will end at some point, and I hope there's some good to it. And that's one of the good pieces I would have. Sorry. Now back to the original point of this mail, which has nothing to do with anything I talked. It says, because of you, I even made some concretes I took down. I just wasn't good at it. I prefer to enjoy comics. If you prefer to enjoy comics, cool. If you took it down because you felt you weren't good at it, bad decision. Keep at it. Anyway, thank you for everything. I'm going to miss you when you're gone. Make sure to plug your work in the video so I can buy it. I have a comic. It's going to come out. I have a lot of friends who have offered to help. Editing, lettering, coloring, inking. And I've probably pissed all of them off by saying I want to do this entire thing by myself. And I'm doing it all by myself. And I don't care if I only sell one copy, because goddamn it, this is something I wanted to do. And if it gets on live streams, people rip it. It gets on a trash cast. Somebody wants to mock me for it. Go nuts. It's not about money. It's about passion. I'm going to do it. I hope you like it. It's an idea I've been bouncing around my head for like 25 years. And it's my idea. It's not going to make any kind of money, but it is for my heart, for what it's worth. And I mean this with all due respect to all my listeners. I don't really care if you like it or not. I'm doing it for me. Because in life, you should do things for other people. But every now and then you should do something for yourself. And this comic I'm making, the 3 Past Midnight, is for myself. By the way, at no point ever in this channel I'm going to beg you for money for it. That's not an insult to people who do. It's just what I want to do. Anyway, I'm a big fan of back to the mail. Weirdly, this is going to go in a whole different direction now. I ruined this mail. I'm sorry to good guy who's written in before. I'm sorry. Anyway, says, I'm a big fan of Godzilla and Sonic the Hedgehog. So what do you think about comics based off of them? Do you think this licensed comics like that are good for the industry are good for the industry because they attract new readers, or end up being more like shovelware video games? Thanks for your time. I'm going to try and tie this into the last 10 minutes of bullshit I just gave you. I think that you could do Godzilla, you could do Sonic, you could do Godzilla versus Sonic if you want to. And if there's passion in it, if there's a good idea in it, if there's a good story in it, then, shit, man, I mean, they should try it. I don't think that video game adaptions or movie adaptions have to be crappy. I think they can actually be really good. But the theory going into it has to be passion. It has to be We're here to create an amazing story. It cannot be, hey, we got a license, so let's vomit something out. And to me, a lot of comics that come out based off licensed properties are just that. We got this license, so let's puke out a comic that satisfies the license, but there's no heart to it. There's no value to it. IDW had Transformers, and to be honest, the comics had one of two things going on. Either it felt like they had to do a comic because they had the license, but nobody really gave a shit, or it felt like they hired a bunch of writers who were, and I hate that I'm going to say it this way, and I hope for those of you who are not into whole woke SJW kind of that debate, I hope you don't take this wrong, but I suspect many of you will. It felt like the goal was, how many of the Transformers can we make gay? Now, I've said this in previous videos. I don't really care if you make Transformers gay if the story is good. I mean, the problem I have with the whole premise is I don't want to think about the Transformers or Godzilla or Sonic. I don't want to think about those characters having sex with anything or being attracted to anything. It's not the point of Godzilla. Why would you make a comic where you delve into Godzilla's bisexuality or asexuality or anything? Who cares? That's not a story I want to read. I actually would be fascinated if somebody could create a story that went into Godzilla's or Sonic's sexual orientation and it was interesting. I just don't think it's possible. Like I don't think you can make that story. Who wants to see that? Pardon me. Yeah. The problem with IDW and the Transformers series is that when you're making gay Transformers, you're assuming that the audience reading Transformers cares at all about that. And I'm sorry, but 1% of your audience, if that does, the people who are shown by Transformers, they do not want gay Transformers. But here's the thing. They don't want straight Transformers either. They do not want, like, Optimus Prime going, Autobots, this was a good battle against Megatron. Now I'm going to go fuck RC for a while, and after I'm done, Jazz, you can have a run at her. Nobody wants that. Jesus Christ, nobody wants that. Nobody wants to think about the Thundercats fucking each other, or Godzilla, or Sonic, or any of that. And so, to answer your question, I absolutely think you can make good comics out of these things, but don't make it a soulless adaptation of something else where it feels like ChatGPT wrote your comic. And for the love of God, don't start inserting things in that nobody wants. When I say nobody wants that, by the way, there's a healthy audience out there for LGBTQ comics. By the way, if you're listening to YouTube a lot, you probably don't agree. But all it takes is one look at Webtoons, and the BL genre, a manga, and other things, and you realize there's a huge audience for LGBTQ content. But those people know what they want. They want something very specific for them. They do not want Sonic the Hedgehog to, delve into his sexuality. And when you make this comment, a lot of people say, well, that's homophobic. Au contraire. Nobody wants it for anything. I don't want Sonic going after Tails. I don't want it going after, Sonic, universe too much, but nobody wants Sonic going into a bar and be like, God damn it, I got to get some pussy tonight. Nobody wants this. In a weird way, for a lot of these properties, video game, movies, other things, we just want a good story. And these characters are amazing. You can make a good story. I mean, Godzilla, god damn it, there's a lore there. You could make a million great stories there. Don't make it soulless bullshit off just what you've seen in the movies, and don't try and contemporize it for modern audiences. Just let it be what it is. And by the way, if you're a writer or an artist or wherever you are, and you really, really badly want to do a comic book that is appealing to a gay, bisexual, transgender, whatever it is audience, you have a market, you have an audience. Appeal to that audience. Do not try and take something like Care Bears and say, wouldn't it be funny if one of, like, I don't know the Care Bears well, but like Happiness Care Bear, is that a thing? I don't know. Happiness Care Bear was decided to change his gender. Like, nobody cares that. Nobody cares at all about that. Anyway, I'm sorry I took this mail in such a bunch of crazy directions. Every now and then you get an email or a phone call or somebody is like, your videos just don't get to the point. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. That's because this channel is about me speaking from my heart. And that's what I've done here. And, you know, I'm at like 48,000 subscribers right now. It's way more than I deserve. Not that many people are watching the videos. But that's what I've chosen to do. So anyway, thank you very much for the mail. I know I answered your question in the worst possible way. But hopefully you got some out of it. And god damn it, if you like doing comic reviews, will you please do some comic reviews? We need you. Thanks for listening.